Welcome back, students. In this lecture, we will start adding some extensions to our leaflet map, to our web map, to make it more user-friendly. So the first extension, or how to add extension, we'll go to our leaflet official documentation, and after that, inside the extension directory. And here, the first extension that I add is Sidebar. So I'll search for Sidebar here. Sidebar is the inside user interface sidebar. So we'll be using leaflet.sidebar. Okay. So let's open that in a new tab. Example that if you click on an icon or the sidebar will pop up from the left, and if you click on the icon again, it will go inside. Now let's go to the documentation. It is saying using the in order to use the sidebar, add a content container, we need a div and create a new l.control.sidebar and add it to the map. l.control.sidebar, and this is the options. So by default, every leaflet extension has an attribute called position, and you can set the position. There are 4 positions, like top left, top right, bottom left, and bottom right. And this is set in the left position. And the sidebar will be hidden on startup. Use the following methods to show or hide it, like sidebar.show to show it, and sidebar.side to hide it, and toggle sidebar visibility with sidebar.toggle method. Okay. And also you can set the timeout method. So how to include that? As there is no external link available there to include the sidebar, we will download this whole chunk of code. So this is from GitHub. So I'll download the code as a zip file. Downloaded, has been downloaded. I will open my download directory and leaflet of sidebar. So I'll copy this zip folder, and inside my first webmap directory, I'll create another folder and I'll call it plugins. Here I'll create another folder and I'll call it sidebar. Actually, I want to keep my code clean, and therefore I will organize it properly. And I will extract it, sidebar master, and we'll be needing in the source folder the CSS file and JSS file, leaflet l.control sidebar.js and sidebar.css file. So I'll copy this file into the plugins. I'll paste it here. And after that, I will delete these 2 files so that my directory is clean. And now you can see that we have a directory called plugins, and inside the plugins sidebar, and there are 2 sidebar available there. Okay, so let's add it to link. Link is style sheet, plugins, sidebar. Inside the sidebar, l.control dot sidebar.css. So this is the link, l.control.sidebar.css. After that, we will input the script tag. A script tag under the source directory, plugins, sidebar, l.control.sidebar.js. And the C is in capital letter, l.control.sidebar.css. Can save it. Okay. We have included the sidebar in our header, and how now see the documentation again, that how we can include that inside our web map. So we can do that by doing so l.sidebar and position left and map at control sidebar. So let's copy this chunk of code and we'll paste it here. So I will have a comment that it is our sidebar. Okay, sidebar. And let's copy this chunk of code, where sidebar, and this is the div that is saying the sidebar is the document object model ID sidebar. So our document model ID is the same as the sidebar, so we call it sidebar, and the position to left, and our map element is defined as my map. So my map at control sidebar. So let's see that whether it is working or not. Actually, we cannot see the sitemap yet because we have not set the visibility to show, because the sidebar will be hidden on startup. So how we can do, we can make the sidebar show with the sidebar.show method. So let's do that. Sidebar.show method. And now let's see that because sidebar is appearing, so the sidebar is there. But I want it to toggle so that it goes here, and when I press a button, it will again come back there. So I do so by adding another extension called easy button. Easy button. So I'll search for easy button. Okay. L.easy button. It adds a button on the screen. Okay. So there's an extension there. It's demo. Showing that if you click on a button, something will appear on the screen. Or you can link the button to some events. And how to do that? There is an external link. Let's see. Yes, there's the external link. So we'll include that two links in our file first. This is the link, and this is the CSS file, and this is the JavaScript file. So let's copy that and include our CSS file here, easy button, and after that let's copy our JavaScript file and let's include that here. Okay, and let's now see the documentation that how to initiate that. So a pop-up, glue, button map, hello pop-up, l.easy button, and open a pop-up and map is set. Okay, let's copy this chunk of code to see that whether it's working or not. And we'll set the sidebar default visibility to hidden, and we'll call it easy button. We'll paste this chunk of code here, l.popup, globe. Actually, I'll describe that a bit later. Let's see that how it is working or not. Add to my leaflet map. My leaflet map is called my map. My map. I will add it, save it, and see that whether it is working or not. Okay, so I have a button here, but there is no icon. If I click that, a pop-up is appearing with the all call hello world. Okay, so now let's modify it. And what we'll do, we'll link this button. What we'll do, we'll link this easy button to our sidebar. Let's see how we can do that. l.easy button, I will remove this chunk of code, and I also do not need this hello map, and I do not need these parameters in my function. So when the easy button has been pressed, an anonymous function will called, and what the anonymous function will do, the anonymous function will toggle the sidebar. So the anonymous function will toggle the sidebar, and the option is here, sidebar.toggle. So sidebar and add it to map. Okay. So let's save it and let's see that whether it is working or not. I press it, the sidebar is appearing. I press it again, the sidebar is collapsing. But inside here, we can see that it has a proper icon, but we don't have any icon. So what it is doing, it is including the font awesome icon. Okay, FM is font awesome. So what is font awesome? Font awesome is icons. Like let's show you actually what it is. Font awesome icons. So this is the official website of Font Awesome. So it has multiple icons, like all these icons. Okay, let's show you from the cheat sheet. Font Awesome cheat sheet. So these are the icons and these are the icon names. So you can have any icon by calling this name. Like here it is calling fog globe. So if I search for fog globe, this is fog globe. So if that should show the far this icon here on our here, but as we need to include the font awesome in our web map for that. So you can see there is a lot of icons and you can use any of the icon by calling this by the icon name, but we need to input font awesome for that. So let's search for font awesome CDN and let's include the latest on my place. Font awesome. Let me check that which font do we need. We need the font awesome. Maybe only the all.min.js file for me, please. So we need only this font file. So we'll input the latest version, no problem. Font awesome. I'll copy this URL. So in the CSS file, so we'll include that inside our link file. Okay. Link style sheet, and I copy that. Paste that. So now let's see that whether it is working or not. Now we have a globe icon here. If I press this icon, it is appearing here. But there are another icon called glyphicons. If I search glyphicon icons, so these are Bootstrap glyphicon icons, which are by default available with the Bootstrap. So we have already included our Bootstrap library in the header. So we can start using these icons right away. So you can see that a lot of icon is available here, and also it has a name. So it starts with glyphicon and then the star or the heart. So I know that which one I need. I use the one called transfer. If I search for transfer, so I'll use this one, glyphicon transfer. So I'll copy that and I'll paste that here. Okay. Transfer. Let's save it. Let's refresh our roadmap. So this one has a good effect, like it is two arrow, like expanding and collapsing. So it looks good. Another thing, so now we have a sidebar and we have a button linked to the sidebar to open it and close it. We'll put some contents in the sidebar, but we'll develop that one by one. After that, I'll include an scale so that we can have an idea that how our map is. So we include a graphical scale. So let's do that. Maybe I'll remove this, close these tabs, and inside our extensions, I'll search for a scale. So yes, yeah, scale. So the one I'm looking for, which one is? 1 minute, please. Let me search it from here. Maybe it is here. Actually, scale is a default properties or default attribute of Leaflet. So it is inside the doc document, and let's here inside the control, the scale is there. Actually, we'll be using all this control zoom attribution. We have already used attribution control to not show our attribution. We'll be using the zoom layers and scale. We'll see that one by one. So if you click on the scale, that in order to initiate the scale, you need to call l.control.scale, and after that it will be added to map. And there are options. Options include the max width, the maximum width of the controlling pixel. Okay, let's first add it to our map, and later we will come to our options. So this is sidebar, this is scale. Let's paste it here. And as it is a Leaflet default document, we do not need to add anything into our header or any external file. I'll add it to my map. Save that and refresh our web page. So a graphical scale has been added here, and it is showing both the metric unit and imperial unit. So I am not interested in the imperial unit. I will show only the metric unit, and I will make the scale a bit larger, and we'll see that how we can do that. So it is saying the maximum width. So by default, it is 100. The maximum width of the control in pixels. The width is set dynamically to show round values. I'll set it to maybe 300, or okay, maybe we'll set it to 300. After that, the metric unit, true, whether to show the metric scale line, will show that we'll set the imperial to false. So let's set the attribute, and we need to pass all these attributes, all these options as an object. So let's see how we can do that. Max width and imperial. We are interested in these two things. Okay. So let's do that. Here, my map. Sorry, inside the scale, I'll set the attribute. What I'll do, first I'll set the position that where it should be. Sorry, as is an object, it's the key. This is the value. The position will be bottom left. Okay, and after that, the max width. W. Okay, the max width I'll set to 200, and it has been set like a number. So I'll include that inside single quote. And after that, I'll set the imperial to false. Okay, and add it to map. And now let's see that. Refresh it. So it is here. Only the imperial and the scale looks good. Okay, and if we open our sidebar, the scale is also expanding with the sidebar. So that this lecture is getting long, I will stop it here. For the next lecture, we will add some other controls. See you in the next lecture.